Hello, welcome to the Why Name Podcast. Hello, welcome to the Why Name Podcast. Hello, welcome to the Why Name Podcast. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Why Name Podcast. I'm your host, King Lou.
And I'm the co-host Nas.
There you go, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Why Name Podcast, episode 24. I'm your host, Lou, aka King Lou. I'm here with
Host co Nas, yeah. Host Nas.
host Co Nas, man. Okay,
Yeah,
we switch it up and you switch it up as well. I see. That's cool
I
though.
guess, man.
So like we
Starting
talked.
off a little rocky. This is the first time doing 2 episodes in one day, man.
Hey, so like I said, man, it's episode we switch it up.
24.
Yeah, episode 24. We switching it up to more of an interview-based podcast, man. Trying to get more different views, man. Not gonna do too much talking. We know what you're here for. Today we have a guest by the name of Jessica. She is a model, but I'm not gonna do too much introduce. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself. So welcome to the podcast.
Hi,
Hello.
everyone. My name is Jessica Brisco, and I'm a model and a photographer and a IT auditor located in Northern Virginia.
Oh, excuse me, my fault. I just sold yourself short with all the chill for model. Gotcha. A quick little backstory about how I met Jess. She was a co-worker at Virginia State. That's how I originally met her. I mean, I knew her before, but she was a co-worker at Virginia State with me. Kind of hated on me because I got the job around the cart and she had to sit in the office, and I actually did work. So that was how we met. Is that right?
Mm, sounds a little off, but you got the gist of it.
And also, so Nas and Jasmine, it's one of the first time y'all met. Nas worked for Virginia, for the school as well, but in a different department. Nas, give a little backstory about what you work, where you worked at in school.
If y'all worked in the same building, it was right across the street. I worked in the budget department in Virginia.
So, so we didn't work in the same building. She worked under where you work at?
Um, I work in Harris.
Yeah, she worked in Harris, and I worked in
Harris.
Trinkles. So she worked
Okay.
over there on the other side. So he worked in the actual Virginia Hall. So Virginia State to corporate
Okay.
America. Yes. So the reason we got you on today, we try to get some different views on here. So obviously I sold you short with just being a model, but what got you into modeling and photography?
Okay, it's kind of a funny story. What got me into modeling? I think at the time I was going through a breakup and a random photographer, I think he was just learning how to use his camera and he was just like, "Can I shoot with you?" And I was like, "Why not? I just went through a breakup. Let me boss up on everyone." And then ever since I took the pictures, that was it. That was it.
That's crazy, yo. They said when a girl break up with you, the next thing you see is a photo shoot of her trying to flex on you, bruh. I forgot where I heard of that,
Don't
but
do that.
that's what they
That's
do.
crazy. That's exactly how you started your career.
I heard that it's always a photo shoot
Don't
after,
do that.
or sometimes they birthday coming up, and women like to do photo shoots for their birthday, so it's always just coincide that next time the next picture you see of her is after she deleted all y'all pictures and cleared your page of her, there's a photo shoot of her. So
The
wow, so it's
professional photos too,
a
not the
professional,
photos, the
not the
professional photos.
not the portrait mode on the iPhone, yo.
Oh
uh,
my goodness. I
yeah, so now
cannot.
it's crazy how they do it, but now you run this.
So how did you get into the photography side of it? The photography side of modeling.
Let's see. Um, so I think I just felt like I just knew I had like a different eye, like I looked at things differently. So I started taking pictures with my iPhone, just like experimenting with angles and taking pictures of like objects. And then
Um,
something told me to just buy a camera, and I just spent a lot of money on a camera. And that was it after that. Then I just started shooting people, and that was it. Then I started getting booked for then I kind of used modeling to help me. So any photographer I would shoot with, I would ask them advice, and then they would see that I'm interested in shooting. So they would just take me with them to shoots, and that's when I started shooting weddings and just like shooting a whole bunch of events just because I was networking with photographers that I modeled for.
Gotcha.
Do you feel like you got an advantage on knowing that you know both sides of it, in front of the camera and behind the camera?
Yes, for sure. Being being a model, it helps me with my photography in that I know angles, I know what I want to capture, I know how to determine people's good side. I can instruct people and direct people on how to do poses. And then being a photographer benefits me as a model because I can picture what I want to look like through the camera, which helps me determine how I want to pose, how I want to
Mm.
angle my body so that it looks good in the camera. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. So being that you kind of you alluded to it, you started being after a breakup and you ran to a photographer actually reached out to you. When did you actually like sit down, or not really, but realize like, oh, I can do this. Like I can be a photographer, I can be a model. When was that realization for you?
Let's see. So, after my photo shoot, my first photo shoot, I didn't really model for like a year just because I was like, I'm not about to take this seriously. I can't model. But I think I realized it when I went to a street meetup. There are these gatherings in DC called street meetup where models and photographers just meet up and you just network and you get free pictures or whatever. And I went there and I was just like, I don't know how to pose. I'm stiff. I don't know what these people are looking for. And once I stood there and a first photographer came up to me just to shoot me, a stranger. 30, I kid you not, no exaggeration. 30 photographers just started swarming around me because I was just posing or whatever. And I realized I was like, I could really do this. Like, I'm really feeling this. Like, this is cool. And ever since that event, like photographers would just be in my DMs asking me questions, like to shoot. And I was like, nah, I could really make this happen. And then as for photography, I realized once I shot my first wedding, this guy named Kevin Charles in DC. He's a really nice photographer, really great. He taught me a lot of things. Once he said that I had an eye and he wanted me to shoot another wedding with him, and then people really started booking me without him, I was just like,
Hmm.
yeah, I can do this for real. So, yeah.
Ben, talk about your the street meetup. 30 different photographers. You don't get nervous being that was one of your first time going to one or something like that. So it won't nervous. Or how was the emotions like being that you just stand there posing, you got 30, that's a lot of people. Like I'm thinking maybe 5 or 6, but you saying 30, that's a lot of people.
It is. Um, it's kind of weird. I mean, I'm a pretty shy person. Lou, don't say anything. I'm actually a
What?
really shy person. So, so, so for me to be in front of those people, it does not phase me. It did not phase me. A camera does not phase me. But if I was just in front of people with no cameras, I would definitely be one of the shyest people in the room.
That,
Mm.
So
that,
you don't
that's
believe me?
crazy. That's crazy because I know you from being working with you. So you saying you one of the shyest, the loudest, and I ain't gonna people that you got coming here. I don't want to see that side of you, but you are not shy at all. But
I
not at
am.
all.
You can ask.
How you
I
gonna
am
pull a
shy at
car
the
on
desk.
camera in the middle of her interview? It's crazy.
Yeah, but not
I
then
am
that's cool.
shy.
So, could you speak a little bit about the business side towards modeling? Because a lot of people are ignorant when it comes to pretty much their view on like models and modeling. Like people like saying they're a model is kind of like shunned upon because they feel like that's what everybody does. But can you give a little information about how the business actually goes and how did you do what you do at a high level?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm flattered that you said high level. Well, I have a lot of work to do, but
No, I mean
um,
the pictures he showed
it
me,
just
they was alright though. So yeah.
thank you. That took a lot of practice. I just had to invest in myself. first. You have to invest in yourself. So I just started purchasing a lot of clothes. I'm staring at 3 clothing racks right now full of clothes just for photo shoots. So that's a lot of money. But
Whew.
I started shooting for free. So I would just ask a photographer, can we collab? And, I would get rejected here and there. I'm just a little like amateur model. I don't know what I'm doing. But once you start collabing for free, like with photographers and building your skill and getting your face out there, your name out there, um, then that's when you can start getting booked for money. So like sometimes I'll shoot for brands and I'm paid either in product or I'm paid money. Sometimes photographers will pay me to shoot. Brands will pay me to shoot. Sometimes classes, like I actually did a modeling like class. I got paid to
Mhm.
do that. So over time, you will get, paid, but you have to, what I'm saying, you got to show that you have the skill. Like you got to show that, you're worth getting paid for.
Mhm.
And that comes with a lot of professionalism. Like I'm not just here to sit pretty. Like I have to articulate myself, be confident in myself, and tell people what I can do, what I can't do, what I'm able to provide. At the end of the day, this is your time. So,
Hmm.
and your time, your skill, and you're doing someone else a favor at the end of the day. So,
Mhm.
yeah, you just have to like be confident in yourself so you can get money and products. But that's not what it's about. Of course, you gotta love it, of course. But
Mhm.
yeah,
So,
It's good that you say that because a lot of people they just see the pictures and they don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. Like the business side of it, pretty much all that goes into it. It just she taking pictures. She just did a photo shoot. Da 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 da. But a lot of people don't understand that there's way more going on
hmm
behind the scenes than that.
yeah.
But
So another thing is it wasn't always easy, as nothing is in life. Everything's not easy. What kind of struggles did you have to go through, or that you have went through when starting, or not even starting, but building your clientele up for either modeling or having photographers reach out to you? What some kind of struggles that you kind of went through?
so some of the struggles that I've been through are, it was kind of hard for me to figure out what I wanted my image to be or what my style is. I feel like it's important to be versatile, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. For example, if you look at my Instagram page, I don't show a lot of skin. I'm really like not about that life. Um, and that's another struggle that I've had to go through. I've been told plenty of times because I don't show skin, because I don't uh show my body as much, that I won't get as much attention or I won't get as much bookings, which is kind of true. Sometimes photographers just don't, if I don't want to model like, a bikini or lingerie or anything, I just don't get that type of attention. So that's one thing I had to struggle with, and just like not falling into that, like, oh, because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't get enough attention, I don't get enough bookings. Maybe I need to start doing that. And it's like I had to make sure I was staying true to myself and making sure that, just because you may not be getting all the attention that you want and getting all the photographers that you want, still stay true to yourself and the right ones will come to you.
Yeah.
Luke,
My fault. My fault. A worrisome friend of ours just called me, Javante, worrisome, being worrisome. Want nothing probably. But another so with the struggle, not struggling, but because you're not, I guess, it's used the word sexualizing your body, with showing skin and doing the lingerie and bikini suits. How do you go about, rejecting, or if you not reject that kind of look that a photographer's going for, does a photographer have to come to you with the idea? Like, all right, I want to do this type of shoot, or is it more of a collab? Like, all right, I want to shoot with you. What kind of look were you going for?
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of the rejection, I just kindly say, that's not my style, or I just, I don't feel comfortable doing it. And they respect that. Now, as for collabing with photographers, because I know both sides, Coming up with a concept is literally the hardest part of the whole shoot. And a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, to everyone else, you may see, okay, there's Jess in a cute outfit. Boom, that's it. But really, it takes time to actually figure out what theme, the hairstyle, the makeup. And because I'm also a photographer, I don't want to put all that pressure on the photographer. So what I try to do is I try to make it easier for them and come up with the content. And so I come up with a concept. I already have the outfits on hand, and I just try to like look at the photographer's style because not everybody shoots the same. So I look at their style. If they're more into streetwear, then I'm gonna look at my streetwear clothing rack. If they're more into high fashion, I'm gonna look at my editorial high fashion clothing rack, and then we just work from there. I just want to make their life easier at the end of the day because I feel like they're doing me a favor and they're really helping me out.
She is.
So then,
You are
then
flexing with the different clothing racks.
yeah, she
Like
says she
you
got
got,
3 of them.
bro. Like
Okay, don't
what?
do that.
Like what? Like I
Don't
got
do
this
that.
clothing rack. I got this clothing rack. Like whoa. I wish I could never. But go ahead. No fault. Cut you off.
Also, you kind of made me lose my question. Cut me off.
Damn.
Oh,
My B. Don't beat me up.
but I mean, I can't. Damn, bro, go ahead, man. You kind of fucked me up with that one. I'm gonna jump in. It's gonna come back.
I got you. So being that you was in school when you was modeling, and now that you're still working being IT, how do you balance in between? Because I always see you in Philadelphia, in New York, in DC, well, it's Northern Virginia,
Lou.
but like you come down here. So how do you balance in between? Because like it seems like you can't be working if you're always on the road taking pictures. So how do you balance it?
I cannot. Um, let's see. How was I doing it in school? In school, I don't think I really shot that much. Um, unless I went home. I used to go home like every other weekend, so I would just shoot in DC anytime I could, every weekend, whatever. But now that I work 9 to 5 during the weekdays, and then I only have shoots on the weekends. So sometimes I have like 3 or 4 shoots, and maybe 3 a day, or maybe 3 that whole weekend. And as for traveling, I mean, I work remotely, so I just take that laptop and go. And then
I,
once it hit 5 o'clock, I'm off to a shoot. That's it.
I really wish I
Yeah,
had
she ain't doing no work at all.
but so being that you like you said
Oh, Lou,
when
don't
you
do
do reach
that.
out when you do reach out to the photographer, so when they reach out for you, you help with the concepts and things like that. Um, do you end up shooting your own photo shoot sometimes? Like, have you ever
Yes.
thought about going that route?
Yes, I do my own portraits sometimes. I think I did like, I don't know how many portrait shoots I've done. I've done quite a few, probably like 10. And I just
Mm,
practice on myself just to kind of like perfect not perfect, but like get better with my skills. So yeah, I practice with myself all the time when I feel like it or when I have time.
do you find it more convenient
So this
shooting yourself versus when other people are showing taking your pictures?
I do in that I can literally just do it at home and not have to worry about meeting someone, but it's hard for me to catch certain angles. Like I usually just do straightforward angles because I can't hold my camera at an angle. That's the only inconvenience, but
Okay.
it's all right.
all right. So uh what about to say? Yeah. So two-part question here. When was the first time did you start modeling? Like when was the first time? And after that, I ask you a question. That's the question.
So you said when was my first time modeling?
Yeah. So how long have you been modeling?
Oh yeah, my first photo shoot was in January 2018, and then I started taking it seriously. I want to say May 2019.
Okay. So my question would be is what would be some up and coming models? I mean, up and coming advice to model coming up? What would be some advice coming for up and coming models? I'm sorry, I got something twisted, but what would be your advice to some models who want to just they feel like they have the knack for taking pictures and Instagram queen, but they want to take it to the next level and profit? What would be some advice to them, or some things that you wish you would have known when you started?
Okay. One thing I would have known, actually no, let's see. Word of advice is definitely do not question yourself. Um, do not question yourself. If you really want to do something, you can literally make it happen. And I still look back to this day and think, there's no way I would have thought I would be doing this right now. Um, Even if you're shy like myself, uh, I just say put yourself out there. Start taking. I understand people are like, oh, how am I? A photographer doesn't want to shoot with me. I'm stiff. I don't know how to model. I barely know how to take a selfie. Honestly, just start off taking selfies and then reach out to photographers if you can. Now, you will face rejection. Whenever you face rejection, do not take it too hard and do not give up. Somebody will say, yes, I would love to shoot with you and make it happen from there. And if there wasn't COVID, of course, I would definitely suggest that up and like rising models, aspiring models should definitely go to those meetups. They're not even in DC, just in DC, but I would definitely suggest going to a meetup. You can literally meet models and photographers and network. Like I said, if it wasn't for COVID, but I would definitely recommend that. There is street meet in DC, there's portrait meet in DC, and then in the 757, I think it's called VAMU, they have portrait meets down there in the 757 as well. I would definitely recommend any aspiring models to attend those type of events when everything is clear so that they can network and start building relationships. It's all about relationships in this industry. It's all about networking. And it's all about putting yourself out there and practicing. So that's what I would give to any aspiring models. That's what they should do.
And, and before you go, Nas, how has COVID affected this? Like your taking pictures, collaborating, and everything. Like, cause I'm pretty sure it affected you. How has it affected you?
It has yeah, it's definitely affected me. It's the COVID literally hit as soon as I was about to start going from state to state. So I know on the gram people see me go from like Maryland to 757, but I was really trying to go to New York to LA. That's what I was trying to do. So that stopped that. I was also supposed to be a New York Fashion Week bridal edition that got canceled.
Mm.
Um, there's plenty of fashion shows I was in. I was in like four. Those got canceled. What else happened? Just certain gigs here and there got canceled because you can't have too many people in the studio, and it's just also dangerous. Literally every time I shoot, I'm actually taking a risk. So I do get tested routinely. Like I want to get tested as often as I can because I'm around new people. So that's one thing I have to do a lot, and it's not getting tested is not it's not bad. So yeah, that's what happened to Jess.
I got test. I got tested and I almost cried. Well, I think I was starting to cry. I think my nose, like not like crying, but like my eyes watered up from the swabbing like my nose. But now you got something.
Yeah. What would be next for you?
What will be next for me? So right now I'm in the middle of rebranding myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of stuff I'm working on right now just to help me get out there in social media. I definitely not only want to be a model, but I also want to be an influencer. So I definitely have to step up my YouTube channel, my TikToks. I need to be more consistent with Instagram. But not only that, I really do want to get signed to an agency, only because I love being a freelance model and all. But having my own wardrobe, paying for gas, paying for trips, paying for my own wardrobe, makeup, everything is very expensive. and I want to be signed with an agency just so I can get out there on a bigger platform because I'm kind of known locally in the DMV. Like I've shot for local brands, but I really want to be out there on like websites, commercials. So being signed with an agency will kind of help me with that as well.
And that's funny that good question. That's funny that you talked about rebranding because like we kind of in the same stage with the podcast where it went from like what we talked about on this week to more of let's talk to some different type of guests in all walks of life. So with the rebranding, is it frustrating or how you come to with ideas of rebranding? Because we in the same situation where we see that for a reason how we got to the interviewing our best episode when we had guests. So obviously that's what I really want to see. So what type of strategies do you have to go about rebranding?
Mm. So yeah, it is a little frustrating because there's so many things that I want to improve. If anything, I'm just trying to work on being more consistent because that's what's needed for what I'm trying to do social media wise. Uh, the most frustrating part is figuring out what I can do that makes me stand out, or yeah, that makes me stand out because I know a lot of models and I know a lot of models and I just kind of want to stand out. So I'm trying to figure out what can I do that'll make me different from them? What can I do that'll stand out? What does my audience want to see? Or I look at my pictures and my likes and say, okay, they kind of like this type of style I'm going for. Maybe I should start doing those type of shoots. Then I also look at people's websites. Okay, maybe I should format my website like this. How do I want to incorporate being booked now? Because I kind of want to, incorporate being booked through my website instead of through my DMs because that can be very stressful as well. I'm managing myself, so I plan on my shoots months ahead, and I have to plan everything. So I just want to like make things easier for me and also easier for others to reach out to me. So it's a lot, but I'll get there. We'll get there. We got this. So.
Mhm.
Yes. Uh, that's crazy that you spoke of that like managing yourself. Cause like outside of Nas, like we do this like internally. We don't have anybody like running the Instagram account, which is in editing the
Mhm.
videos and stuff like we did more with school happening. Nick has other stuff to obligate to, and then with me working and stuff like that. How do you go about it? Or do you like set your schedules? Like, all right, on this time, after I know you said after 9 to 5, if you're on the road, you don't work. But do you like set time? Like, all right, from 6 to 7, I'm gonna focus on looks. 8 to 9, I'm gonna do this. Like, how do you do that? Because that's why this is a question for me personally because I'm trying to figure out how can I help build our page as well.
Mhm. Yeah. Let's see. How do I do that? Sometimes I just have planning days. So on the weekends, I usually have all of my shoots in by like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That way I have the rest of my day. Usually on the weekends, if I have nothing to do, I will sit down with my calendar and I'll go through all my DMs. And that's when I have to come up with all my concepts. But I also break my task list down. I don't like feeling overwhelmed. I'm the type of person, if I feel overwhelmed, I shut down and I don't want to do anything. So if I have a lot to do, I'll be like, okay, Saturday, I'm going to answer all my DMs and come up with the concepts. Sunday, I'm going to edit a YouTube video and then I'm going to make 3 TikToks. So I just try to like plan a schedule and break it down instead of constantly reminding myself of this huge list I have to do. So I break it down and that way things get done little by little at a time, but still get it done. So.
All right. So you sound like it's busy. So I'm gonna ask you a little more personal question here, if you don't mind. How do you
Mhm.
find time
Yeah.
for other things? How do you find like relationships or hanging out with friends if you like have all that going on for you?
Uh-huh. Well, that part is difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do have a small
I bet.
circle. I only have like four main friends. I only have four main friends and my childhood friends. Uh, They understand what I do. They understand why I don't answer phone calls. I do keep in contact with them. They usually call me, honestly, while I'm at work on the clock because they know that's when I'm reachable. But when I'm not on the clock, it's really hard to reach me. So, uh, but I mean, like I said, my photo shoots on the weekends, they usually end by 3 o'clock, the latest. So I have all day to spend time with them. It's just they have to let me know if they want to do something at least a week in advance. I know that sounds crazy, but I literally have to plan that. And they're understandable. I still hang out with them. They come to me sometimes, or my friend Dakota, who's also my assistant, she'll come with me to shoots all the time. That's our bonding time. And then we go out to eat after. I balance that. As for like relationships, your girl's single, unfortunately. So I mean that's not unfortunately, but that's a good thing. But yeah, that part's a little hard. That's the hard part. So it's okay though. I can live without it.
Mhm.
And getting in relationships and stuff. I don't know. Now I got something to say. Do you think you can date another a male model, being that maybe they with the attention that you may get? Do you think you can do that on another aspect, as in as another male getting the type of attention that you would get personally?
Ah,
Don't lie. Don't lie.
um,
A lot.
don't do that. Would I date a male model? I wouldn't mind. I just know it would be hard because our schedules would be crazy. And then I know how it is being a model. You get a lot of attention, and I don't mind. I understand. I probably wouldn't though, to be honest. I probably wouldn't. I'm okay.
But on the attention aspect, because I have dealt with, let me be honest with, I dealt with insecurities before, where at a point where I was getting
Mm,
attention, that I had a girlfriend once where she would get a lot of attention, people would be on her pictures and stuff like that, and it's like you want somebody
mm,
that's beautiful, right? But not just beautiful to you, because obviously if she's beautiful to you, that means somebody else can find her attractive. And this is a question maybe now I can
right.
answer this too, but like, how do you deal with that type of attention that this person may get this type of attention? Like I can't beat up everybody in the comments, everybody with a heart ass. I can't go beat them all, even though I would want to. Like what's mine is mine. I know that not possessive type stuff, but like, do you think somebody that would be interested in you would have to deal with that, or how would you tell them to go about that?
How would I tell a guy to go about the attention he received?
No, if you was in a relationship and somebody and you were getting a lot of attention, how would you tell your partner to go about
Um,
that?
I mean, see, and that's the thing. Um, I would just explain to them that, I do receive a lot of attention and I can't control what people say to me, but I can control how I respond back. I usually have a standard response. It's always either a thank you or a thanks with a lot of S's. Um, I mean, it's all about trust as well, like if I'm for you and focused on you, I promise you the DMs, like, they mean nothing. It's just it is what it is. It doesn't go past the thank you over here. Like, I can't. But I would just, constantly reassure my partner that, everything's good. Like, I'm solely focused on you. The DMs are, I just say thank you and that's it. That's all I can do.
I
But
mean, in all
honestly,
actuality,
being
it's
a
like
model, you receive a little bit. You said what?
no, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say people think I get DMs like, attention. If anybody goes through my DMs, it's literally just photographers and models. Like, I really do not get attention like that. So I just tell, like, I would just tell my partner, I'm not getting attention like you think I am.
I mean, people can't even be mad at their partner getting attention. I mean, they see the same thing that got your attention, so it's like you can't really
Exactly.
be mad at that.
But all right, so
Yeah.
let's switch your foot. If you were in a situation where because I'm not sure if Nas dealt with it, but I dealt with it when your partner's getting their attention. How you did like, cause it's easy for you to
Mhm.
say, but now you seeing people that you might even know dropping heart eyes under your significant other picture. Now, how you feel about that? Like, cause I dealt with it before where why she commenting this under your picture? Why she asked you this? Like, and I'm little like, why don't you ask them? Cause I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not in the picture, or I'm not in their brain to ask like, why did she drop this emoji under here? What does this mean? Cause I can't tell you why she did it. You go ask
That's
her.
that's an easy solve for me. I just don't follow. Like if we talking on that level, I just rather not see the Instagram. Like, leave that right there. That's your page. Whatever you post on it is whatever up there. Like she said, it's trust at the end of the day. So I don't really care what you
Mhm.
post or what's under there. I mean, if I'm dealing with somebody, you gotta trust them to some extent. So I ain't tripping.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. If I saw that under my partner's page, I mean, or picture, I would honestly, I don't think I would do anything. Now, if they're commenting back, like I said, you can't get mad at the comment. You can only get mad at what the person, how they respond back. Now,
Yeah.
if he's saying some wild stuff, sending kissy faces back, you could step. You go ahead. But if you're not doing that, you just got it on your page. Hey, good for you. Somebody think you're cute. Good for you. Like, okay.
It sounds so simple right now, but it don't never go that way, yo. Like Nas said he doesn't just follow his significant other back and stuff like that, so he don't have to see it. But it's always the who's that, and then you gotta explain to like, oh, I don't know her, then why you following her?
Yeah.
Then why do you follow the other 2,000 people that you follow? You know all these people, so like you try to make it so simple. So is it really that simple with you?
I mean, just think though, Lou, like, what if the person commenting on your girl's picture doesn't even know that y'all together? Like, what if they're a private person? You know what I'm saying? You can't blame them for commenting now. If they know, that's whatever. But I mean, I know I understand what you're saying. Who's that? I can't lie. I probably would be questioning that too. I can't lie about that. I probably feel
Mm.
some type of way a little bit. Now, as for the not following your significant other, though, I know some people who are like that who don't want to follow their significant other. Me personally, I have to follow you. I need to see what's up because I don't want you having me looking crazy on the socials. I'm sorry. You cannot. Don't do that. I don't want you saying or posting any wild stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like they have nothing to hide. What's wrong with following each other if you have nothing to hide?
To avoid all
Mm.
the nitpicky stuff that come with Instagram, like Lou just said about getting in feelings about comments, or you see a comment under their page that you may not like. Now that comment that ruins your whole day when you could have just simply not followed them. The comment meant nothing, and you don't see
Okay.
it. You go about your day.
I get it. I guess that's just down to the person and
Yeah.
how they are personally. I'm not the type to really, feel some type of way when I see that. Only maybe because I receive that attention and I know it means nothing to me. I feel like it's the
Mm,
same thing for them. They're probably getting attention, but they probably don't even care. They probably don't even care. So that's just how I feel. But I understand. I
mm.
understand. Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
So you say, but like I said, now you got anything else?
Nah, that's it for me. I ran through my questions.
Yeah, all right. So I think it's a good episode. I think it's a good episode. Thank you for Miss Jessica. Drop your social, if you want to tag, put it up here so where can we find you, where can we follow you at? I know you said you mentioned you got a YouTube page, all that good stuff. Drop your socials.
Of course, you guys. Okay, so my Instagram and my Twitter is at the Jbrisk, JBRISK. And my YouTube channel is just Jessica Brisco. And you can find those links actually on my Instagram page and the link that's in my bio. So yeah, definitely give me a follow. I follow back, I promise. Yeah. Thanks again, you guys, for
She probably
having
don't.
me. I feel honored.
She probably don't.
Look, don't do that. Don't do that. I cannot.
I'm gonna I'll make sure I put all the yours like socials and your YouTube link in the comments and description so y'all can find those as well. Cause I know y'all lazy and people don't want to go type and stuff. So you know what? Make sure all that can be found in the comments, or not the comment, but the description of these videos and on SoundCloud and Apple Music and all that good stuff where you listen to that. So like I said, this is episode 20. This is episode 24 of Running Podcast. I am your host, King Lou, aka Lou. I'm here with
The co-host Nas,
there
with
you
our
go.
special guest Jessica, and it was
Jessica.
a great interview. That's episode 24. See y'all next week.
All right, see y'all next week.